Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reality Derby. We have a great episode for you today. I am Marcus James Dixon.
I'm Denton Davidson. We are talking with Ken Jeong today, the clue master of The Masked Singer, and it's a fun interview because he gives us his insights on, what it was like to join The Masked Singer, and he can't believe it's been going on for 13 seasons.
I can't either. I remember covering this day one, and 13 seasons later, they've had so many amazing people be on this show. Dick Van Dyke, I mean, come on, he's my favorite.
And they've stuck with the panel, other than Nicole. Nicole's the only one that's like, okay, I have to get another job. But the rest of them are still, hanging on strong. Nick Cannon is still there, except for he had COVID or something one time. What happened? Remember when
Niecy Nash had to take over? Yeah.
My sitcom, Dr. Ken, had just gotten canceled, and so I was doing a lot of different jobs, whether it be, supporting roles in movies, doing stand-up comedy, working on my Netflix special. And then this just kind of came across my desk was, would you like to be a panelist on The Masked Singer? And I was just a guest panelist on America's Got Talent. And I had a blast. It was my first time doing a panel show, and I remember having a blast doing that. And I was hesitant at first because I just didn't know if I had it in me, and it wasn't necessarily a goal of mine. But it was my mom who, because this is based on a Korean format. My mom, I'm of Korean descent. My mom watches The Masked Singer. It was #1 show, and my mom was like, "You should totally do this show. It will change your career." And she sent me YouTube links, and I started watching the show, the Korean version. I was like, "Oh, okay, I can do this." I think I have an approach on how to do this role, because I'm not a recording artist. I'm not a I'm not a professional musician. So, but here we are, 13 seasons later, talking about it. It's been the longest running TV show I've ever been involved in. It is the gift that keeps on giving.
It's sort of got to start because he was a guest judge on AGT. You're the AGT expert, Marcus. Do you remember this? I don't remember that.
I've seen every single episode. So he was a guest judge in 2018, and he gave the golden buzzer. You know what those are, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the biggest moment.
The
for
confetti.
An act. Yeah, he gave that to a choir, the Voices of Hope choir, kind of a children's choir. Very uplifting, very emotional.
They didn't win, though.
No, they didn't win. So Ken thinks that this current season, Lucky Number 13, is his favorite season ever. He loves the themed episodes, which we also love those. And he was Lord Farquaad. Am I pronouncing that right?
Farquaad. On Shrek Nights.
Yes, and you asked him about that, so let's find out what he had to say.
I mean, you just get to look ridiculous. How dare you? That was sincere. That was supposed to be my second dramatic performance. And somehow the audiences said, "Oh, this is my stupidest." It was so enjoyable. Actually, all credit goes to the producer. They suggested that I dress up as Lord Farquaad. And I wasn't even thinking about even dressing up in character. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I think that's the most positive feedback, because I don't typically perform in these cold opens. I'm not a singer. I'm not a musician. So I never, no one says, "Oh, Ken's our go-to guy for these cold opens," And I remember it was really an afterthought. And I remember we were kind of on a tight schedule. I think I just rehearsed it on the day, kind of did it on the fly. And, it just kind of exploded. When you're getting high praise from your friends, and your peers, that to me says it all. So it's literally the highest, personally, the highest performance achievement I think has been on this season as Lord Farquaad.
So, getting a response of "how dare you" from Ken Jeong is sort of like a career highlight for me. I think that's the best thing he could have possibly said to me.
Are we going to put that on your tombstone?
That would actually be good on a tombstone. How dare you? What are you thinking of these theme nights? Because, I liked the Shrek one. Some of these are confusing because if you look through them, it's Shrek nights, The Rat Pack tribute night, great. Voices of Olympus.
I was
I have no idea what that means.
I was gonna say that was a weird one.
Like, what do they sound like? Who has heard the Voices of Olympus?
I loved Ghostbusters Night. That was one of my favorites. Carnival Night was another one. I mean, what's a carnival song? I guess I don't know. Is it like a bunch of noises?
It's a
random
party
noises?
song. And Boy Band Night. I'm a big fan of that. I mean, who doesn't like a boy band episode? So I would say, like, the winning themes are Shrek and Boy Band Nights. The rest of them, hit or miss. I don't know what some of them mean.
I don't even know what Decades Night was, and I watched that episode. Like you just pick a decade and sing a song. There's millions of songs from each decade. How can they just pick one and say that's the 70s song, that's the 80s? They should have done 70s Night or 80s Night. I'm sure they have in the past.
Yeah.
So we have seen over 100 people unmasked on this show. A lot of good ones and some, frankly, that were really forgettable. But we asked Ken what his favorite all-time reveal is. So let's find out what he had to say.
Still Margaret Cho from the first season because, God, I think it was like, I still remember it. I think first season, 4th or 5th episode. I remember Margaret was just, we're good, dear friends. She's a role model for me. When I was in college, I was her opening act, like when she was doing stand-up, and she's one of my heroes. And I know her so well. She played my sister on Dr. Ken, so like I know her well. And so stand-up, acting, comedy, I just know her. And I know she's from the Bay Area, and I know she sings. And it just, the look on my face of embarrassment that and then when Margaret said, like, Ken, I was really surprised that you did not, and she said it, on the air and in front of the audience, and the look of Korean shame was real, the look of, like, I really was like kicking myself afterwards, like, how did I did not think of this? It was, I mean, it just made all the sense in the world. And that's the beauty of the show, is that, personally, if you see friends of mine who have been on the show, and I am the dumbest judge on The Masked Singer. I really don't know who they are. None of us do. And we're giving guesses, and yes, I'll layer it with comedy, but I really don't know. And I have fun not knowing. I think that's the key. I have the most fun not knowing, but when there are friends involved, it's even more special.
Do you have a favorite?
I don't necessarily have a favorite, but I'm just going to go with Dee Snider because we were there.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only person that I saw unmasked before my very eyes. He was Doll. What was that, season 9 or something?
Something like that. What was the theme?
I have no idea. The other one I like some of the older ones too. Like Anna Gasteyer was really good because I like
the Christmas tree.
Yes, because I like it when people are confused about who's behind there for so long. Like, I remember it took a long time to figure out it was Anna Gasteyer because people remember her from SNL and they forget that she's actually a really good, like, Broadway singer.
Yeah, I loved Peacock in season 1. That was Donny Osmond, and I thought it was Neil Patrick Harris, who still has never been on this show, which seems weird to me. He's like perfect for The Masked Singer.
Do you think you would guess me since we worked together? Like, could you be able to guess that I was behind the mask?
I would have to listen for the accent. A boot.
I think you'd be surprised by, my golden voice.
Well, I can't sing, but they would give me some, what's it called, auto-tune to make me sound really good.
Yeah, they would definitely auto-tune you. I also love that Ken says he's the dumbest judge. I don't think he's the dumbest judge. I think he's just having the most fun. He guesses ridiculous things, but that he doesn't take himself seriously. He doesn't really believe Brad Pitt is behind the mask.
Are you sure he doesn't believe that?
I don't think so.
It's possible he does believe that. But yeah, his guesses are always the worst. And when he gets one right, like maybe one a season he'll get right. And it's always like a sports person, which is really funny.
Yeah, he's very good with the obscure athletes.
Thank you for recognizing that. I'm a huge basketball fan, huge NBA fan. And so for me, as well as football, but NBA, I've always considered myself the go-to expert on that. So for me, like getting Dwight Howard, Victor Oladipo, I'm always having my radar for my favorite basketball stars. I did get our test run, our Meta World Peace run. I was kicking myself for that, but because that's fun to go on the clues, and then I go back to my basketball NBA Rolodex and see if I can match it. So that's a lot of fun, because there is some tremendous. I love seeing athletes like Victor or like Barry Zito, just incredible singers, and then incredible world-class elite athletes. Blows my mind.
So he is great at predicting some of these non-singing singers like the athletes, which I also enjoy as well. Like, that's some of my favorite reveals, is when the people that aren't real singers. I mean, we like the singing legends, like when Patti LaBelle or someone shows up, but it's always kind of more fun to find out someone can sing that we didn't really expect.
Yeah, like this year in particular, we had Matthew Lawrence. He made it pretty far. Erica Jane, she actually made it farther than I thought she would. Candace Cameron Bure, James Vanderbeek, a lot of people that aren't necessarily known for their voices made it farther than you would think they would.
And then I got into him about the Emmys, and should judges be allowed to put their names in for Emmy recognition? I mean, Nick Cannon can put his in for hosting, and I feel like these judges and the panel are just as worthy, if not more so, than a lot of these hosts on TV. So here's what he had to say about the Emmys.
For me personally, look, to get awards and to get nominated is such a big honor. But truthfully, and I've always said this, publicly and privately, the work to me is a reward. Every time I work is being a former physician, just getting a job, is a reward. And for me to do this, 13 seasons, I can't even believe I say that out loud, because when I'm locked in, I'm just locked in. I think that anyone who's worked with me, I'm just locked in, and I don't think about awards. I don't think about glory. I don't think about fame. I love what I do, and I'm always, especially when I'm doing Masked Singer, I'm always just like, how do I creatively guess something, and be authentic to myself. We have gotten some Emmy love, in areas that deserved it, especially with the costume design. I really think the contestants and the costumes are the stars of the show, more than anything, more than the panelists, to be honest. But, so having said that, yes, of course, any Emmy, any award show recognition is completely appreciated. I think when the show's good, I look at everything follows. I'm always just obsessed about just trying to make the show good, because when the show's good and performances are good, the costumes are good, and the panelists are good, the hosts are good, then all the other benefits follow. That's the way. That's kind of how I look at life and my career in show business in general.
So yeah, I didn't really like his answer. He was kind of meandering a little bit. I wanted him to say, Emmys? Yes, give me the Emmys.
Yes.
This is me speaking, I really want the judges to have their own category. Maybe it's individual judge, maybe it's like a panel of judges that can get one. I mean, I'm thinking back to Simon Cowell.
A definitive
Abdul,
yes would
Randy
have been nice.
Jackson. Yeah, those three definitely deserved an Emmy for American Idol.
I mean, and he's probably the standout panelist, wouldn't you say? Like, if any of them were going to get an Emmy nomination, he would probably be the first one on the list.
Jenny's really good, though. Jenny's the savviest of
She's
the
the
group.
golden ear.
She's won that so many times they discontinued it until this year they brought it back. But yeah, she is very competitive. I bet she would love to get an Emmy for this.
Yeah. What are you thinking about this season? Who do you think is on track to win? Who do you want to win? And do you think we know who they are? I think we know who they are.
Well, the final four, we have Boogie Woogie, Coral, Mad Scientist Monster, and Pearl. And I will say we do spoiler items on our website, and the one with the most engagement, the most traffic, the most comments is Mad Scientist Monster. I think it's these country fans that come out and support their folks, whatever show they're on. Do you think he could win, though?
So our prediction is that it's Brian Kelly from Florida Georgia Line. So, we don't know that for sure, but that's what people are saying on our website.
Boogie Woogie is my pick to win, and we think that could be Andy Grammer. He really seems to fit every single clue that we're following each week. So I want him to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Coral or Pearl. Who do we think
I'm
they
picking
are?
Pearl.
Okay.
Like, Pearl's my choice. I like her because she has sung like a different genre of music all the time. So even though they all get put through these different weeks, her voice like has changed. I mean, she started with a Whitney Houston song and she sang it like in a Whitney Houston way, and then she sings a rock song in a rock way. She's not just adapting all of these genres into her own sound. So she's been confusing from the very beginning, which is why the judges still have no idea who she is. My prediction or my guess that we have on our website is Gretchen Wilson, who is like this rock-edged country singer.
She's famous.
So she can adapt. I mean, she's Grammy winning, the redneck woman.
Is she too famous for this show, though?
She might be, but
She's
I
on the
mean,
bubble.
you know what is interesting though is that they do have famous musicians on the show.
Yeah.
Like it's not uncommon for like an A-list musician to come on the show. It's uncommon for an A-list movie star to come on the show.
Tom Cruise hasn't been on. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. So we're not going to get Tom Cruise, but you will get You're not going to get Oscar-winning actors, but you will get Grammy-winning singers on this show, especially of a certain age.
And there is a fifth contestant still on the show, kind of like a background character. They've done this before. Before it was Cloodle Doo, who was Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah.
This time it's Lucky Duck, kind of celebrating the lucky theme of season 13. And what do you think?
I don't know. I've kind of been ignoring this
Yeah,
Lucky
we
Duck,
haven't
to be
been
honest.
focusing on
like
Lucky
I
Duck.
have not been paying attention to him.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. Like I don't really care. However,
I care.
like maybe like I think the default is always like, oh, it's Joel McHale, because like everyone just thinks Joel McHale has nothing to do but troll the Masked Singer whenever he gets an opportunity. So, but I have no idea who Lucky Duck is. I haven't really given it much thought.
I would love if it was Joel McHale and he actually commented on the Ken Jeong interview on your Instagram post. And
He did.
He said, this is talking to Ken Jeong, who they have this frenemy relationship. Yeah. He said, wow, your lamps really are the stars of this photo. And I also noticed the lamps.
Because the lamps are on each side of
very,
Ken's
very
head.
big lamps. Maybe you can cut it down to one, Ken, or maybe just get them both out of the way. Okay, well, that is our episode of Reality Derby this week. Stay tuned. We'll have another one next week. We're going to talk about another show.
And there's 2 weeks of The Masked Singer left. I mean, the finale is coming up, so we're going to find out who the winner is, and we'll be talking to whoever the winner or winners are. Like, there's 4 people left to be unmasked, so we'll definitely have some interviews coming with those contestants.
Ooh, exciting.
Awards matter, Gold Derby. So